broadcast is brought to you by A.C.T, Agora's Center of Thought. Here only on the Voluntary Virtues Network. Every Saturday, 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join us on the dark side of radio. Agora, Anarchy, Action. Yes, we are here yet again. This is the Underground, the Agora Underground, only on the Voluntary Virtues Network, ladies and gentlemen. We do thank y'all for tuning in. We are live every Saturday. Comrade Dick here, your host, sitting with my co-hosts.
What's up, Darian here? What's going on, people? Thanks for tuning in.
Broadcasting live from Alamo Town here. In a lot of ways, the underbelly of the resistance, right? A couple miles underneath south of Austin, the hub for cryptocurrencies and anarchy. So, we had to represent from Alamo Town, and here we are bringing down the Agora Underground and trying to break down agorism to you every week, what the philosophy actually is, how it's being misrepresented, where it was right, where it may have been wrong in some aspects, how can we make it better, and how can we apply it to fighting the state. As you know, last week we were reading the, Rothbard's critique, if you will, of the New Libertarian Manifesto, Konkin's, little manifesto on agorism, essentially. We've already read the primer. Check those out on our past episodes. Went through the Agorist primer by Samuel Konkin, and definitely broke that down. Seems like he was pretty much Austrian, on board with economics and the free market. And
reading this book was very interesting. It was a pleasure.
Definitely. So we decided to read this article before we started reading the New Libertarian Manifesto, see what Rothbard had, as a critique before we actually get into it. And what we covered last week here, just to go through it here real quick, one of the good points that he said, at least, is that it's in a lot of ways it is easier to be on the attack than actually build up a plausible theory to your or a systematic theory to your to what you want to produce, right? What you want to do. Not that Konkin didn't supply that. It's just he didn't write anywhere nearly as extensive as Rothbard. I mean, Rothbard wrote a lot more compared to Konkin, and in that sense, it's easier to have critiques. But hey, Konkin admitted himself he was Rothbardian, so we don't disagree with.
He was like, I was following your lead, man.
Yeah, we don't disagree with man, economy, and state or any of the sort. The great writings. Something else that they brought up that was a really good point is that Rothbard brought up is that wages is important. Being a laborer is important because you don't have to save for all the capital. The rich have to save for the big printers and the big factories and all that. And as we know, Anarcho-Capitalism, argues that, hey, we shouldn't give, subsidies and handouts to the rich, because then we only keep these guys, at the top of the market all the time. If we allow for free competition, for free exchange of goods and services, and the free competition thereof, heck, you might be successful, but if you don't continue to deliver to your clients, you ain't going to be successful for too long.
Right, and with subsidies and regulation and all that, it's kind of hard to compete with that guy. Like you were saying, it's keeping them ahead of the class and shit.
Yes, and this is in a lot of ways why we are reaching out to those capitalists, right? We are reaching out to the producers. This anarcho-capitalism, agorism, reaches out to the entrepreneur, to the business owner, to the people that are producing. Hey, let's build a society, right? John Galt, let's build it, right? If we build it, they will come. Hopefully not the Fed, right? Even though they always try to come and try to tax and regulate.
He's just like, nah, but I believe what you guys believe. So where's everybody at? What's your name?
Yeah, right.
Infiltrators, like in Ferguson, they're trying to walk with him.
Oh yeah, that's just modus operandi. To bring in agitators and you're talking about Ferguson and the riots. Bring that in. Of course, it's like the WTO protests in Seattle back in 98, 99, right? The anarchists, right? Back they send in like 50 black hoodie so-called anarchists, right, with big anarchy signs crashing and burning stuff, and then that was an excuse to go in and disrupt the whole WTO protest,
Right.
lock people up in camps and stuff like that for days. It was pretty crazy. So another great point here is, or a side point that this is actually a failure here that Rothbard made, is that he was like, so what if Russia and Italia, and Italy and Spain had underground black markets? Big deal, like that ain't really important. So important, the black market failed to overtake the regime.
No, but like its presence in the history was the important thing.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, he brings up, well, what do you mean though? Explain that. I didn't catch that.
Oh, well, because you were saying that it was like, he was trying to say that it's not important that the black market was occurring in these countries because it didn't, overtake the whole economical system.
Right.
But I'm saying it's important that these things even occurred in the system. I mean, they had occurred. So this is proof that the people will do engage in gray and black markets. Even in those countries.
Even if it's illegal.
Yeah, it happened. So we're not just talking about the anarchy in the black market or the gray market or agorism. We're talking about these things that happen, and there are true events. So
yeah, and I mean, pointing out that they didn't overthrow the regime or whatnot, that the black market didn't produce any defense or anything like that. Well, yeah, okay, granted, okay, Rothbard, you're right, but this was also in an age before the internet, before encrypting communications, and before this type of thing where people could get, now people can get organized a lot better. I mean, we're at the brink with technology, like we brought up before, Mutual Shield and that app, what is it, Peacekeepers app. I mean, these in 5 years, the state's going to be obsolete, and as far as policing and security goes, it's done. The community is going to have that taken over, and it's going to be on a communal, co-op, so more of a socialist front in that sense, true socialism in that sense, right? The community getting together to provide their defense because they're tired of all this police brutality. They're tired of the black young kids always getting shot by the cops. Right, we're tired of our young daughters being harassed by the cops. Right, I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, we can only hope. We can only hope. Right, the common man, the poor, those that are reflecting, which is the majority of Americans now living check by check, that only hopefully we can start getting pissed about this. Like, and start, we're not calling for revolution and violence and breaking into the liquor store and taking some liquor. No. We're calling for, like, straight up, like, I mean, non-compliance, like,
break away from it, break away from the system.
Non-compliance. And how do we do that? Well, let's stop voting. Let's stop partaking in their game, right? 10% of the voting population to vote, then that's a total affront to the world that we're living under a dictatorship, right? No one partook in the American elections. Everyone, most people that are self-employed are avoiding paying taxes, and now certain companies are avoiding declaring their taxes, right? And the companies aren't paying their taxes, and then they allow their employees not to pay their taxes. We got to have a whole systematic non-compliance and opting out in that sense, right? Sorry for the rant. It's just like, I get excited about this stuff because, like, I talk to so many righties, so-called righties and these lawful government types, and it just blows my mind how they think that, somehow a limited minarchist government is going to keep us safe. And you go step by step through it all, and how it would be funded, how you would provide, who would do the labor for that, and how you would pay for their wages and all that. And in the end, it's like, with this institution that you supposedly created to defend property is going to have to aggress on property rights in order to fund itself. And it's just a joke. We got to reach out to, especially people that I self-identify with the right but they don't realize that, hey, most of them are liberal, as we've called out so many times. Like, this is a liberal movement. We are true liberals here. Another good critique of agorism is like, hey, for the most part, gray and black market stuff is small scale stuff, right? Stuff that you can fit in your pocket, hide pretty easily, this and that. Well, hey, cryptocurrencies, right? Now you can hide millions of dollars pretty easily, billions of dollars pretty easily. Like,
you can hide it even better if you get it encrypted.
Yeah. Automobiles, steel, bread, whatever. Okay. This is another legitimate concern against agorism, and this is where Rothbard failed to see what agorism was all about. Agorism isn't trying to say, okay, we're going to start from zero and try to make our way up, from the black and from the gray. Hey, you start from wherever you're at, right? If you're a cop, right? How would a cop start engaging in agorism? Not enforcing victimless crimes. You can start doing that.
Start giving $200 seatbelt tickets.
Yeah. Start giving people. Yeah, exactly. Paraphernalia charges. Seatbelt tickets. Like, what a joke. Public intoxication. Singling out people and stuff. I mean, come on now. Like, do something good. Provide something. But oh no, you have to provide a revenue, right? You have to bring in that revenue. But I mean, it's just ridiculous. Like, so an agorist cop, right? It would. I mean, in the sense
would
that
privatize himself and do private security for whoever.
Right. But the transition of that happening, there's several approaches to that. I mean, the guy could just like what Rothbard is expecting here. Yeah, okay, I quit. I'm done. I'm starting from scratch now, and I'm starting a gray market, defense agency from scratch.
Yeah. With
no cap. Well, it's like, okay, that's kind of hard. But what if you, as a cop, you infiltrate and you get 5, 10 cops to agree, philosophically with this. Now you got a squad. Now you can all 10 break away, or you can create disenfranchised cops within the system. I'm not calling now. Don't get me wrong, right? I'm not saying libertarians should get within the system. We know the state is a violent apparatus.
Yeah.
We're talking about people that are within the system unknowingly, and then they wake up. Very different from somebody that's woken up.
Yeah,
joining the system.
We're reaching out to the cops that are actually there to do something, and not just bully people.
Yeah.
They went in this profession for a good reason.
So just to wrap that point up, I mean, as far as the steel and the automobiles and the wheat goes and all this, we're going to have to get the established, white market businesses that are legit, that aren't the ones that are all crony and subsidized, that aren't the ones that are, Freemasonic and in cahoots, right, and behind the scenes and through secret connections or whatnot, aren't part of the ruling order. We're going to have to get them to start producing in the gray, just like the left market, just like the Nalevo market, right? Hey, during the day, you're producing and declaring all your sales and paying your taxes, and during the night, you're still producing. But you know what? You ain't declaring those, right? You ain't declaring that revenue. You ain't declaring that production. Let's see here. What else did we talk about here? We're almost getting towards the end here of where we were. And then Rothbard gets into here how like tax resistance is, the best that, an agorist can offer, as far as if you're self-employed, it's very hard for a business to resist paying taxes, or a person that's hired by a business, a wage earner, to resist paying taxes because their business takes it out, the business takes it out of their check immediately.
And if you do, the IRS will be on your ass like that.
Yeah. And this is where, again, we're calling for, again, widespread opting out, right? Imagine businesses saying, hey, you know what? We didn't pay we didn't file our taxes this year, and we didn't make any of our employees do it. So booyah, now what are you gonna do? And then what if all the working community, what if everybody that produced something, workers and capitalists alike, came together in solidarity for that business and said, you know what? They have every right to do that because the taxes are theft. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. We got to start encouraging that. It's so hard when the government's willing to give you hey, here's a couple $100,000 freshly, printed, nice and warm dollar bills in briefcases. You want? You would have to be Jesus, right? To be like, nah, I'm good.
Right? Yeah. Nah, I like my freedom better.
Yeah. I mean, it's so easy to buy people into the crony system when you got a fiat currency that's based on no consumer valuable good at all, right?
It's money.
They just
it's
print
proof
it,
money.
and they can buy out the world. They can buy everyone's soul with printed money.
It's legitimately monopoly money. It's monopoly dollars.
Oh yeah, no, without doubt. And then here, oddly enough, well, not oddly, we could have expected this, right? He defends political action. Rothbard says, I'm afraid indeed that there's only one way to eliminate this monstrous withholding tax. Dare I speak its name? It's political action. We okay, yeah. If you want to go ahead and vote, whatever. But again, you're legitimizing a system of violence, and you're giving it, you're giving it authority. You're legitimizing it. You're making it somehow like giving it
You're just holding the gun to your head. That's what you're doing. You're legitimizing someone to pretty much rule you and take care of you, quote unquote, and hold the gun to your head. Just let them know when to squeeze the trigger. They'll tax you first, and then they'll do it.
Yeah, dude, it's ridiculous. Here's some more right there, bro. Let's see here. And then I thought this this is kind of where we left off here. This is, I guess, what we'll continue reading from here then. Let's see here. It is no accident, again, that the entire spectrum of the black market movement, from tax rebels to agoric theoreticians, are mostly, almost exclusively self-employed. To echo Konkin's distinction, black marketeers might well benefit themselves in a micro sense, but they have no relevance to the macro struggle for liberty and against the state. Indeed, in a kind of reverse invisible hand, they might even be counterproductive. Man, that's pretty harsh to say, Rothbard. It is possible that the Soviet black market, for example, is so productive that it keeps the entire monstrous Soviet regime afloat, and that without it, the Soviet system would collapse. This does not mean, of course, that I scorn or oppose black market activities in Russia. It is just to reversal some of the unpleasant features of the world. It is just to reveal, some of the unpleasant features of the world. Okay. Well, that's just weird. I guess, it's just crazy, dude.
Yeah, like, I'm not catching him. Like, he's saying that he's not scorning the black market, but yet he's criticizing a lot of the black market even being functionable.
Yeah, he's saying on a small level, some individuals that are self-employed or whatnot might be able to engage in more counter economic activity than other people who are more into the manufacturing structure of the business cycle. But in the end, like we brought up, in the end, it's gonna have to, like, if enough people on the micro level opt out, that's gonna affect on a micro scale. It's gonna be effective on a micro scale. Look at the growth of the black market in general. It's growing exponentially, and it ain't gonna stop. It's just gonna continue to do that as they keep trying to force down and collect more taxes on society and on the producers, and that's probably eventually gonna lead to that world currency that's prophesied in all these religious texts or whatever, like right? And they're gonna steal the. They're probably going to use the Bitcoin protocol in the sense of not Bitcoin itself, but they're going to steal the idea of it and say, well, yeah, Bitcoin is, a renegade, cryptocurrency, not regulated by anybody. Let's come up with the same type of idea, but, the banks will take care of it and control it and manipulate it, and will enforce it through the state. And anybody that doesn't engage in this is probably a terrorist of some kind. Right?
Yeah, man. They'll find some way, somehow, be a...
So get ready for those. Get ready for those false flags coming in and blaming the ANCAP, blaming people engaging in this kind of activity. Blame the Agoras, blame the crypto anarchists. But here, Konkin continues here. There are other problems with the agoric concept. I tend to side with Mr. Pyro Agon in his dispute with Konkin. For the black market, if it develops at all, is going to develop on its own. And I see no role whatever for Mr. Konkin and the New Libertarian Alliance or the involvement of the libertarian left. Konkin speaks correctly of the division of labor. Well, nowhere does the division of labor manifest itself more clearly than in who succeeds in entrepreneurship. If the black market should develop, then the successful entrepreneurs are not going to be agoric theoreticians like Mr. Konkin, but successful entrepreneurs, period. So what do they need with Konkin and his group? I suggest nothing at all. Well, then this is why agorism, right, and anarchism, is a concept that's, in the mind of ideas, in the world of ideas, in the minds of people, right?
Right.
We're trying to get people to unplug, disconnect from the necessity of
Opt
leading the
out.
state. So yeah, I mean, of course, yeah, a lot of people engaging in black market activities that are successful of it, they may not care about libertarian principles or Austrian economics, or they may not care about agorism, but they're definitely ripe for the educating, right? They're definitely, it's there. I mean, it's we can create a better world. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, you're always going to have that criminal element, right? That people are going to want. Many people in the black market are just criminals, straight criminals. I mean,
Yeah, straight don't give a shit. But there are examples of making money without having to pay taxes, without and some of them, like, with some criminal aspects, like selling drugs. Like, you really don't have to work for it, really. I mean, people just come to you and you just get money. I mean, that's an example of it's like,
what else? Doing some yard work, right?
Yeah.
Competing. If you don't like those all those Mexicans crossing the border, well, why don't you compete with them at their labor that they're doing that no other gringo wants to do? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Why don't you go mow some yards, do some edging, trimming, cut some bushes,
It's just like, they took our jobs. It's like, well, then that probably means you weren't doing really well at your job. You must, have outdid your ass. And
yeah, it's like they didn't take your job, right? I mean,
that's capitalism. I mean, we're allowed to compete, and you lost.
Yeah, right. As I've said a couple of times on our show, Truth Exposed, on Wednesdays, it's like if your job was taken away by some guy that doesn't know English, doesn't have university education, probably not even high school education, and they took your job, then I don't know, your job was probably gonna be taken by a robot, pretty soon enough,
Right. So your job was gonna be taken anyways.
Yeah, I mean, come on now. So it's just ridiculous,
All right.
But I don't know what we're getting at with that one, but
Brought it up.
yeah, I did bring it up. Oh well. But yeah, I mean, we don't need to. We're talking about. That's right. We're talking about gray and black market activity that's voluntary and peaceful that you could easily engage in to make money while you have your white market job. And as Darian mentioned, is becoming a pharmacist, underground pharmacist.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned, hey, becoming a
landscaper.
A landscaper, exactly. A gardener, right? Garden for people. What else we got? We got babysitters. We got car detailers.
And you got
auto
people who
mechanics.
walk your dog for you,
We got
man.
walking dogs. We got computer work.
Oh, you got
Right?
mechanic work you can
Do
just do
computer
in your outside your house. If you're a mechanic, if that's your trade, and invest in
Hook
your
up your
skills. Investing in what you can do, and then what you love, and then go out there and make a business of it. Like
Underground business.
an underground business. Like don't go get licensed or any of that. No, some people will say, hey, well, if you want to go for the millions, then go with the white, but still believe gray and black. But we're saying go gray and black all the way. And
if you're in the white, engage in gray and black. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
yeah, no, that's cool. But that's what we need to see more. You just need to see more people investing in the things they like to do, and then producing, a product or a service. If you like making people laugh, you like to crack jokes a lot, then be a comedian. Go to a stand-up bar, try there.
I'm sure they'll pay you in cash.
You like playing guitar, and that's another thing I don't like. I don't like these cops who stop people when they're playing the guitar and they're trying to make some money. It's just like, hey, well, what? They got to get a label first, and then it's all right. It's like you gotta have a big stage, a manager and a producer and all that.
Yeah, right.
It's like, what's the difference if I was out here on the street making the money, and then if I was at a bar, and then maybe I got a percentage of the people who pay to come in.
Yeah, I mean, they'll probably pay you in cash too. Yeah, so there's so many things. I mean, many things. Computer work, clear viruses and malware out of people's computers. Fix them up.
Jailbreaking their phones, encrypting them.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to do, right? Carpentry, right? Old people, right? There's baby boomers are coming in. They're probably gonna want some nice old furniture. Hey, you got artistic, inclinations with furniture making. Hey, woodwork, do it. I mean, create something. And the point is that, hey, you don't need to trust, like, all of a sudden, like we were saying, like, start from scratch, like, give up your job and, I'm just going to start from scratch. No, put in some side time, get off of work, crack open a beer and start cutting some of that wood, or start go look for a yard or something, like, I don't know, but you know what I'm saying, like, slowly work your way into the gray, right, into the black, and as you do it more, as you practice more and take more risk and engage in more production and more exchange on the gray and the black and more entrepreneurial activities, you'll become more accustomed to it. You'll see what works, what fails. You'll feel more comfortable in those shoes, and that's what it's all about. Definitely. So let's see here. He continues on here, Rothbard, against the New Libertarian Manifesto. He says, there is a hint in the NLM that libertarians would a priori make better entrepreneurs than anyone else because they are more trustworthy and more rational. But this piece of nonsense was exploded by hard experience a long time ago. Neither do the button black marketeers need Mr. Konkin and his colleagues to cheer them on the free market or free them from guilt. To cheer them up or free them from guilt. Again, experience has shown that if they do fine on their own, and that urging them onto black market activities is like exhorting ducks to swim. So, like basically Rothbard is criticizing, saying like, hey, you know what, people are successful, and if, whatever, entrepreneurs on their own, you don't need to tell them to go do it. And it's like, well, actually we kind of do, in a lot of ways. It's like, people are afraid to engage in like, things that they, that the cops tell them not to, that the system made a law against. Like, a lot of people are afraid of nullification, of nullifying unjust laws, right? And just, civil disobedience, engaging in counter.
But that's ultimately what they wanted, man. They want fear. They want fear of having to disobey. They're afraid of doing what they actually know in their heart to do. They're just scared, man, and I'm pretty sick of it. It's ridiculous. It really is. It's ridiculous. Scary cats. It's like someone who talk the talk but won't walk the walk. They'll just be like, it's like, oh yeah, the government, cops. I hate those damn people. They're a bunch of fools. And then like one passes by, what'd you say? Oh, how you doing, officer? You doing good today? Do you want me to shot in the cruiser? Like, it's like, good day, officer. Good day, boss. You got the gun, don't you, boss?
Oh wow, yeah.
So it's like, man, like
people will start licking the boot real quick, and this is why, yeah, exactly.
We need more people who aren't afraid.
We're promoting anarchy in the minds of people. We're trying to get them to understand what anarchy is. And there's a lot of people doing that very, very, very well. I mean, just to name a top off the back of my head, you got Mono, Stefan Mono up in Canada. You got Larkin Rose. You got, of course, Murray Rothbard, his classic works. Who else is really good? You can't forget Walter Block. He always goes after the very controversial issues. He's an academic. And then not to mention all the economists that weren't necessarily anarchists, but the Austrian economists. History. I mean, just a lot of history to get into. Frederick Bastiat. It's just a lot of organizations, a lot of groups, people kicking butt out there. Mike Shanklin providing this network. His show, Voluntary Virtues, always getting great guests, always Shanklin staying with, on point with, and the whole crew, on Voluntary Virtues, doing what they do. We need to hold ourselves to a higher accountability, guys. Not be, so quick to, judge and start just use as much, do what we gotta do. We all know what that is. So just keep doing it. here to continue here, wrap it up. We got we got another half an hour. We've been covering a lot of stuff tonight. That's good. I feel good.
We're on fire right now.
Usually we kind of fumble around a little bit.
Yep.
But let's see here. So, considering going on here, when we consider then the vital importance of wage work, black markets are already severely limited, and the Agora scenario for the ultimate libertarian goal falls apart. And then there is the final stage, where black market agencies use force to defend illegal transactions, tax rebels, etc., against the state. Although Konkin doesn't acknowledge it as such, this is violent revolution, and it's simply a historical truth without exception that no violent revolution has come close to succeeding in a democratic country with free elections. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of like so-called democratic nations that have, in the Middle East that have gone through a lot of revolutions, but aside from
they're
that,
like the headquarters of revolutions taking place.
Yeah, and they're supposedly, voted in, just like, our presidents are supposedly voted in. But other than that, I mean, what really bothers me here is Rothbard really went back on a lot of his principles, right? I mean, and we see here where he says that an agency using force to defend, using force to defend.
We all know what that means.
Illegal transactions. Well, we're talking about voluntary, illegal transactions here. No victimless, right? Illegal transactions.
Yeah.
And tax rebels, again, another victimless crime, etc., against the state. This isn't revolution. I mean, that bothers me a lot. That's not revolution. That's self-defense. That's upholding the non-aggression principle, right? To the max. I mean, right? Right. It's regardless of you wear a badge or not. You have no right to infringe upon my rights, right? No one has the right to infringe upon anybody else's rights. That's the whole point of libertarianism. So this is like really bothersome that Rothbard would, make such a statement like that. It's almost, I mean, he came up with the ideal of private defense agencies.
Yeah.
Like, why? I just don't get it.
It's actually getting pretty interesting. I mean, I haven't heard him say anything like that.
Yeah.
He's just attacking him.
He's just, you're not even thinking straight.
Yeah.
He's spraying bullets. He's got that AK, just unloading. It's overheating.
He's not even looking.
Looking.
He's holding it with one hand.
Rambo style.
Right? Come on, Roth.
I mean, I love Rothbard. We're actually going to continue reading his Man, Economy, and State on Monday, so definitely check that out. We'll be posting that on ACT, on the Agora Center of Thought on Facebook. Unfortunately, we're still using that Facebook crap. We're trying to move over to Google Plus and stuff, and let's get some websites going. You know how that goes. I mean, but hey, if you're in San Antonio, you want to join the resistance. We need some help. We need to divide this labor up in here. Let's start doing it. Throwing some events, some bazaars, getting the Agora going. Starting, most importantly, a defense agency. Getting that app, that's we'll have a show about that. How to start it off. We got started off here locally.
Yeah, we'll get their website up and read more about
the app, and we'll start building communities.
Yeah.
On that, for sure. So then he continues here. So that way is barred too. I don't know if it's barred too. Like, wow, I didn't even read that part. So he basically says, no, it ain't gonna work, guys. These businesses rising up to defend people from nonviolent actions, it ain't gonna happen because that's revolution. And revolution doesn't happen in democratic countries, so that ain't gonna work. And it's like, well, wait a minute. Like, first of all, that ain't revolution, and second of all, if it is even if it is revolution,
it's self-defense.
Like, even if it's self-defense. But even if it is revolution, Like, come on, Rothbard. Like,
What's wrong with that?
Yeah, what's wrong with that? I mean, democratic nation. Well, in democratic nations, I mean, have we can probably name a couple, that have gone through that. Like we said, like the Middle East. I mean, what about all those Eastern, countries supposedly democratic?
Yeah.
The Thailand and the Philippines, they've gone through some tumultuous, times. I guess in the end they are, quenched. But we have to look into that too. But regardless, it's not a revolution. I think that's the main point, right? Like, we're not going to debate the other side point because that's premised on the fact that if it's a revolution or not, and it's not a revolution to defend yourself from aggression or to hire somebody to defend you. I'm sorry for like going all crazy there, dude. And it hasn't succeeded all that often, even in a dictatorship. The Soviet system has now been oppressing its citizens for over 60 years, and there has been a widespread black market all this time, and yet there is still the gulag. Why hasn't the black market developed into a Konkinian, Agora, or even hinted at such? Because it didn't have the technology. Now we do. No, much as I love the market, I refuse to believe that when I engage in regular market transactions, example, buying a sandwich, or a black market activity, example, driving at 60 miles per hour in a 50 mile per hour zone, I don't believe that I advance one iota nearer to libertarian revolution. The black market is not going to be the path to liberty. And libertarian theoreticians, there's again the word again, and activists have no function in the market. Yeah, unfortunately, they don't have a function in the market unless those activists are willing to become, what about like privatized FDAs, like food and drug, like, ensuring that things are being done right because they care about certain things, right? So they're making sure it's like they're like a watch for, for companies that may not be doing, their
Food watch.
A food watch, yeah, exactly. Like, if you care about animal rights, then you're gonna what are you probably gonna do? Well, the best way to promote animal rights is get into the business of
taking care of animals,
and certifying meat production, right? Because then you kind of like you up to standards, like to where like you're like well, I'm gonna come up with a company that we do, it's got to be slaughtered humanely. It's got to be fed and its whole life has got to be treated humanely. At least you're doing a better, you're promoting a better situation at that point. I don't know what I'm going on. That's kind of like off the top of my head, so I don't know. A lot of animal activists probably would be pissed at the idea because it is compromised. I guess in the end, you're still killing animals, but
it's just like, yeah, but like how many animal activists eat a cheeseburger or anything? Like, I mean, I got an aunt.
Not hardcore guys. Not hardcore.
Well, I got an aunt who's like, she's a assistant to a veterinarian, and she loves animals. Like, she loves animals. She took care of a possum when I was growing up with her, and that possum had babies, and she raised them and released them into the wild.
Wow.
But this is the same. This is the same person who likes to eat steaks and ribs and, So it doesn't mean, just because you love animals doesn't mean that it's like, oh, I can't eat them. It's just like, well, like, just make sure that they were taken care of and treated like, not treated like an animal, but like, raise a cow, name it, like, and then like, don't kill ones that are healthy and they're gonna live long, lives. Like, wait till they get a little bit more matured, and maybe they have a problem.
I want that venison. Wait, is that deer meat or is that baby meat?
Venison. No, I think venison. I think it's virgin. Virgin is deer.
Yeah. I don't even eat meat anymore, but
yeah, Richard's a vegetarian, guys. I'm the carnivore.
But I would be interested in coming up with like a food stamp label that that if our meat is stamped by our label, like we made sure that that animal was treated with respect its whole life. It got to roam around, like that it was fed a healthy diet, and that it was killed in a
controlled and humane way.
Yeah, controlled and humane. Humanistic way in that sense, in a caring way, right? and people would have a demand for that. There is a demand for that kind of stuff. So, I mean, that would work. That's what these activists would do. So technically, an activist, no, there is no demand for that in the market, or somebody that theorizes about the Agora, about market, no. I mean, once we have the Agora come about, once we have a free market, there is no need to have economists or right? There's no need to have libertarians, or there's no need for a lot of things at that point.
We pretty much solved it.
Yeah, I mean,
So
we would all be those things. Yeah,
it's figured out.
And then, not that we're promoting utopianism, because again, we believe that this can be implemented even with even the majority not agreeing with it.
Yeah,
right.
At small scales.
Exactly, pockets of people that do agree, right, can get together and collectivize in that sense, and increase their division of labor, increase their power, their influence in that region, and definitely expand the Agora from that perspective.
Yeah.
So let's see here. He says no. As much as I love the market, I refuse to believe that when I engage in. I already read that part. Okay, so yeah, he refuses to believe that that this is that he's engaging in in revolutionary activity just by breaking the law. Theatricians don't have any function in the market. Okay, so he continues telling, I think this is why the only real activity for Mr. Konkin and his colleagues is confined to annoying members of the Libertarian Party. This hectoring may be bracing for the soul of some party members, but it scarcely serves to satisfy the lifelong commitment the Konkinians have to the cause of liberty. No, he says, no, agorism is dead, a dead end. And to use an old Stalinist term, is objectively counter-revolutionary. It's crazy.
I think it just took a bullet there. God, that hurt.
It's just crazy. I can't believe you would say it. You would say such a thing.
Yeah, but Richard is legitimately in shock and awe right now.
I was fumbling through my work because I was reading ahead and I saw it coming and I was just like, oh God.
My heart.
Yes, kids, breaking the law and forming your own path is counter-revolutionary. Submit, fall in line, pay your taxes. Follow the law.
Obey.
Keep voting. Run for office. You can make a difference.
Go to the military. You can be somebody.
Army of one. Army of none. Come and get some. Open a can.
Drink a disgusting beer.
Pay $6 for it while watching a disgusting.
Sit down. Watch TV. Get your mind blown by stupid, relentless, just garbage. There's nothing nonsensical.
Blah blah blah.
Blah.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy the kind of world we're living in. It's crazy the kind of world we're living in, man. Some people want to try the same crap over again. We got Rothbard that got so much of it. How could he not get the? It's almost like, I don't know, dude.
How you gonna go against what you started off in the very beginning, saying we should be doing, and then go around and be like, whoa, no, what? Don't don't tell me maybe he received a briefcase. Nah, couldn't be.
Oh, some of them hot pancakes.
Yeah, briefcase full of that capital.
So hot pancakes, hot off the skillet.
All right.
That's crazy, dude.
Sorry, folks. We're just kind of taking that in right now. We're just like, whoa, Rothbard just dropped the ball on us.
Yep. I don't even know what to say. I think we just gotta watch the video that you did, bro. I'm gonna leave it there because we finished the section 1 and we're at the problem of organization.
Yeah.
We got a lot to read on this.
So
crap.
we didn't let y'all know, but I do have a video here. We're gonna be letting y'all watch it here in a sec. But I guess before that, I kind of want to tell y'all ahead of time. This is a case of cops using bully tactics. You know, trying to obtain something that's not theirs, that they have no right to. And just ultimately abusing their power and being ignorant. And these are downtown bike patrol officers. And before this situation, I had talked to them 20 minutes before, so they knew who I was, and they try ultimately taking my bag, but they knew it was my bag. So I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all watch the video and see for yourself what these thug cops are really like.
Yeah. Let's watch this. Let me get this going here. Open this up over here. Let's get this on full screen over here. And we'll, here it goes, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Turn up the volume.
Yeah. I got a couple clowns here at the bus stop, you know, the type of clown that likes to live off of tax dollars. You know, the people with no actual skill or anything, you know, they just ride around on their bikes because they weren't good enough to ride a squad car. These exact clowns like to use force and coercion on a given area to achieve ideas that are pretty much dead, that, like, you know, they're not even relevant anymore. Yeah, it's pretty funny. Now I think this guy is thinking it's clever enough to film me as well, because he's like, oh, I have a phone too, so let me do what he's doing. Like, let me ask you a couple questions. Hi, sir. How y'all doing? Y'all still haven't got any real job yet? You know, y'all aren't looking for jobs, you know, that doesn't require y'all to steal money from other people? No? You're still ignorant? Obviously. No, I'm not the one ignorant. Y'all the one ignorant, because y'all taking, you know, the information that I give you, they're actual facts.
You're not giving us any information, you're just spouting off BS, that's all.
No, that's a fact.
You're
Y'all take
air.
No, that's a fact. Y'all do take money to use y'all salaries, right? Y'all do take money from taxpayers that we don't want y'all service. We don't want y'all service. Hey, excuse me, sir. Why are you touching my personal property?
Touching this abandoned bag, is this yours?
No, yeah, it's my bag.
I'm gonna need
You saw me.
some ID then.
Oh, no, you're not.
I am, because it's abandoned.
Let me talk to your supervisor, sir. Can I see y'all supervisor? Can y'all call up the supervisor?
Identification if you want this bag.
Why? Is there a crime? No, actually, you have to see identification when there's a crime being committed.
Okay.
And there's also a crime.
That's cool.
Actually,
It's all
sir.
good. Don't grab
Sir.
it out of my hands, young
So
man.
you actually took, no, actually, y'all took the bag from me. Y'all stealing my
The
bag.
bag was laying on the ground.
You saw me over here standing, and that's my bag. You know that's my bag.
Show me
You
some
filmed.
identification.
Why? There's no crime being committed.
Okay,
There's no-
in the practice on there.
Here. Look, I got an ID. I got an ID. Look, I'm trying to show you an ID. Give me my bag, dude. Okay, they just stolen my bag. S.A.P.D. just stole my bag from me. No, take it to your evidence room. I'll pick it up tomorrow with this film. You took my bag. This officer right here was filming me right next to that corner. This officer right here, I want to see some, you know, let me see your name and badge numbers. I want to see your badge number now.
Badge number's 890.
And what's your name, sir?
Richter.
And Richter, did you not see me standing by that corner? Did you not see me standing at that corner,
No,
sir?
I did not.
Yes, you did, sir.
No, I
You were
did not.
standing within like 8 feet of me, sir, and you took my bag. You know that's my bag. This officer was recording me.
I know that it's your bag.
Well, you saw that it was my bag and I was stopping you? Yeah, actually.
How?
Because, hold on. You can open the contents there. That's not my ID. Open the bag. I'm giving you permission to open the bag.
I don't need your permission, it's abandoned. I'm gonna open
No, it's not abandoned, sir.
It was abandoned, it was there all by itself.
No, y'all are joking. Y'all are a big joke. This is what you do to people? Is this what you do? Is this what y'all became officers to do? Do you know half the people?
What am I gonna find in here?
You're gonna find a sketchbook, a big sketchbook, and it says Darian Hernandez.
Like a drawing pad, you mean?
Yeah, like a drawing pad, and it should say that it's my property. It has a little kiss mark from my girlfriend.
Okay.
Right there on the other side. Trying to find my ID here real quick. No, the first page. Right there.
Okay, there's
Darian Hernandez.
very good.
So, let me show you my identification. If I can find it. Should be in here with everything on. Right there. Put your flashlight on. Darian Hernandez. Next. That's my backpack. Thank you for having me, sir. I'll be sure to, report this in.
Okay,
Thank you. What's your badge number, sir? What's it? What's your badge number? You're a public servant. I request to see your badge number and your name.
Bye, Mr. Hernandez.
Yeah, ladies, guys. I like how you obtained my name. Yeah, sir. You quit being a joke to society. I'll see you guys around. Did you see that shit? Did y'all see that shit? I want to have some witnesses here. Did y'all see that? You saw me standing over there, sir, right? You saw me standing over there? You saw me with that bag. The first couple times you saw me with my bag. That's my bag, right? And they took it, saying it was abandoned property after they were right here where that guy's standing, and I was standing right there next to my bag. And they kept saying, oh, it's abandoned. The cop was filming me. Did y'all not see the cop out with his phone too? Yeah, he took my bag trying to say something. That's some shit, dude. That's some shit. That shit needs to stop. That abuse of power needs to stop.
There you have it, people. That was my ordeal. Had to deal with these status thugs, and they tried taking my bag when clearly they knew it was my bag.
I thought it was hilarious how you call them out for being a bunch of tax welfare recipients, right? We don't want their services. They're a bunch of thugs, right? And we don't want, go get real jobs, right? Go work for the private sector at least or something. And then you call them a bunch of thugs, a bunch of you said, oh, you steal people's money, you steal the tax rate, and they go ahead and steal your backpack. It's almost like
right? Like I think it was funny how he called me ignorant, and it's just like, well, I'd be ignorant if I was just like he said, spewing BS. But these are facts. These are facts. Taxpayers pay for their salary, for their house, for their car. They pay for
San
all
Antonio
that.
for the divorces now too.
Yeah,
the police union gets
why
divorces on taxpayer money.
Really? Like, oh man, that's ridiculous. Like, I gotta pay for because your wife wants to leave you because you're a dickhead.
Is child support, bro, coming to you.
Right, coming to you. It's just like you're paying deadbeat police officers child support. It's a joke, and it's really funny because, like I said, 20 minutes before this.
That ain't yet, but it's coming. It's coming. I mean, once you got divorce paid for by the city, there's gonna be children that the police officers have to pay for. So it's like, yeah, go ahead and pay for my child support too. Pay for my car, my gas, my phone. All on tax.
Pay for every time how many times I flush the toilet. It's really ridiculous. We need all I encourage everybody to go out there film the police. Not just film them. Call them out. I'm not scared anymore. I know a lot of people are scared, but we all need to wake up and take a part and bringing these guys down to our level, because they may have their guns, they may have their uniforms, their bully tactics to make you feel intimidated, but really the truth shows on camera. And with that camera, it's really empowering to go and call them out. Call them out, tell them they're BS, they're clowns, they're gangsters. No one wants them. No one wants to ever call you. That's why, you don't ever really save anybody or protect anybody. You write tickets all day and just hassle people. And
join a private security force or something.
Yeah, go do something. Go do something real, dude.
Competition. And you're not, it's not at the expense of people that don't want your services. I mean, classic stuff. I mean, we go. Darian and I go on Sundays. We go over to the Alamo. I usually open it up with the Anatomy of the State. Murray Rothbard. Spend like half an hour, 40 minutes reading out loud. People are always listening, and it's always fun, But I mean, definitely. And coming to those cops on that approach, once beyond your knowing your rights, right? Because this isn't about constitutional civil rights that they give us, right? That they just, the crumbs that they want to throw us. No, no, no. This is about exerting our natural rights. And this is about calling out aggression whenever aggression is being initiated. And just the fact that they're employed by the state, hey, they're initiating aggression against people. Now, hey, we're not like Cantwell. We're not saying that, hey, you got the right to go ahead and shoot them at that point, right? Because they're personally not at that moment forcibly coming in and taking stuff from you in your house or whatever, no knock raids or whatever. But it does give you every right to go up to them and say, hey, you know what you're doing? Do you know what is going on? Do you know that you are a thug? That you
there's
are,
an example of that. Like
I want your services.
They were trying to take my bag, and what did I do? And when I saw the officer trying to put my bag onto his handlebar, what did I do? I acted out instinct because that's my property. I grabbed it. I tried grabbing my bag from the officer, and then I let go because the other officer was like, "Oh," jumped off his bike, and these guys were about to corner me and arrest me. And I even blocked his bike. Like I was trying. If they tried to get me in with an assault, I would have just said, "Hey, it was self-defense. You were taken from me. You were legitimately taken. Yeah, I would take you to court."
At their courts, by the way, right?
Right. It's just like, they all go drinking on Tuesdays.
Yeah, we're all like whispering at each other. You ever sit down in a courtroom, cops, whispering with the judges and laughing and getting laughing, giggling, and with the lawyers, with the city prosecutors, and everyone knows everybody, and it's all just a big sham. City prosecutors getting paid by the same money that they're extracting from your ass. The judge is getting paid by that money. The police officer is getting paid by that money, and they're supposed to all be watching each other, right? There's supposed to be the separation of powers, and they're supposed to be the administrators of justice, and and the ministers of law. What a joke! What a joke! Lawful government. What kind of oxymoron is that? That just throws me off when people think that we could literally continue within the governmental paradigm. Come on now. It's okay. Don't be afraid to take the next step. It's all right. Not a big deal. It was scary for me at first, right? It's like you all the boogeymen come out, and you think, oh, well, what about Islamic jihadists, and what about Russia, and what about China, and how they, what's going to happen? And it's like you don't realize that a society that's decentralized, a society that is, mostly going to be, heavily armed at that point, and decentralized forms of defense is it's not going to be anywhere that any government wants to invade, first of all, and second of all, hey, this government is producing and trading with the rest of the world, right? There's no tariffs and barriers to trade. Why are you going to go bomb the source of all your DVDs, or the source of all your wheat, or the source of all your whatever? It's like, why are you going to go bomb that? That doesn't make any sense. You're only hurting yourself at that point. People only bomb each other when they've stopped trading with each other. Right, first comes the economic sanctions, and then comes the bombs, right? Seriously. So
they're like children, throwing toys at each other.
Oh yeah, well, I'm not gonna trade any of my candy with you anymore. Oh yeah, well, I'm gonna punch you. Yeah, it's just kiddish, it results to. They have to use propaganda, insults, ad hominem attacks, right? Strawman arguments. It's just child's play. Literally child's play, and we're all mesmerized. We think that this is somehow the way it's supposed to be. Like, we're all just a bunch of children, right, being run by a bunch of teenagers, right? In that sense, and no disrespect against you kids and against teenagers. But we mean in the sense that the typical. I guess that's more stereotypical what I'm getting into, and I'm sorry about that, but they're not. It's proven fact that kids don't have their decision making and their rationalization down until their brain is fully developed, and that usually happens in your.
What I'm saying is that they don't got the shit together, and they're running a country full of babies.
Yeah, dude.
Fluoride bottled babies.
Yeah, it's idiocracy's it's on the rise, ladies and gentlemen, and unless we decide to unplug from the ship, right, get off the ship and go to the island, or get on the life rafts. We're gonna sink with the ship. But it's never too late to get off. So get off now before the rafts are full, or before, you know, people don't trust you because you were on that other ship too long, you were with the state too long, you know, and now you're untrustworthy.
Yeah.
Like, you can come over, you know, we accept anybody. Like, let's just live the non-aggression principle. Other than that, hey, liberty of conscience, to each their own, laissez-faire, right? Like, mind your own fucking business, and we'll mind ours. So, you know, this was the Agora Underground, ladies and gentlemen. We are here every Saturday, 8 to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time on the Voluntary Virtues Network. We'll be back next week. We'll wrap up this, you know, Rothbard critique of it, and we'll hopefully be having more footage, confrontations for you. We'll bring a new one every week or something like that.
Yeah, I'll definitely try to be working on that, guys.
Yeah. Peace, love, anarchy. Agora, anarchy, action, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, later, folks.